Hi, 8th grade. Okay, so I am stuck at home because of my cold. I did go get tested, but since they don't have your test results for a whole week, I can't go to school. So I'm home. I'm kind of quarantined, but not really, just because I know it's a cold. Anyway, because of that, we're going to do some online learning for about a week. Hopefully, it's not that long, but if it is, at least we're ready. So I need everybody to be on page 36. I need you to have your notebook open. And we are going to take this chapter test together. I'm going to leave a few of them for you to do, but eventually you have to have all of these done for your homework as well. Okay, so on page 36, remember the cool thing about videos is you can pause. If I go too fast, you can pause it. If you don't understand how I got something, you can pause it. So there's not a whole lot of space for me to work on problems. So what I'm probably going to do is use this empty space right here, and that's where I'll be working on my problems, but then I'll have to delete my problems every time to save space. So make sure you guys are showing all of your work on your notebook piece of paper, and we'll do as many of these together as possible. And some of these we'll skip, just because for time's sake. Okay, so number 1 through 9, it says just solve the equation, and if possible, check your solution. So remember, sometimes we will get the variable equals a number, but other times we'll get no solution or we'll get infinite solutions. So let's go ahead and get started on number 1. Number 1 says 4 plus y equals 9.5. Now remember, we want to get y all by itself. What's happening to y? It's being added by 4. So we do the opposite of that. So we subtract 4 to both sides. 9.5 times, or subtract 4, let's see, I'm going to put a decimal there, equals 5.5, and it's positive because the 9 is the bigger number, equals y. And that is it. That one was super easy. Y equals 5.5. Okay. Now, number 2, I want you to do. Remember, I want to get rid of that divide by 9. I'm going to take that negative and give it to the 9. That way my negative goes away with it. So I want to get rid of divide by negative 9, so that means I would times by negative 9, times by negative 9. And I want you guys to solve this one for your own, because that one's really easy. Let me erase my work. Number 3, z is being subtracted by 2/3. What's the opposite of being subtracted? Being added, so we add 2/3 to both sides. Now, when I'm adding fractions, I have to have the common denominators. So I want you guys to solve this one on your own as well. Change these to common denominators, add them up, and then that's what z will equal. Okay, number 4. Number 4 looks like we have n's on both sides, and I only want n's on one side. So I'm going to subtract 1.4n. That way I can get them on both sides. And I could have done the 3.8, but I'm going to do the 1.4 because then I can subtract nicely. Okay, 8 minus 4 is 4. Bring down my decimal. 3 minus 1 is 2. It's going to be positive. What was I doing? Okay, so it's 2.4n minus 13 equals 5. So how do I get n by itself? Well, before I can get rid of the 2.4, I have to get rid of the 13. So I'm going to plus 13 to both sides. Okay, so now I have 5 plus 13, which is 18. And then I have 2.4n. To get n all by itself, I divide by 2.4, divide by 2.4. So then on my calculator, I'm going to take 18 and I'm going to divide it by 2.4, and I get 7.5. Okay, wow, I can't believe I did all that work in that tiny space. Not very much fun. Okay, let's do number 5 together. So I'm basically going to kind of walk you guys through it because I don't have a whole lot of space to do this. Maybe I can zoom out and do it over here. It's just kind of a pain. Okay, so if I were to start, I'd start by distributing the 9 through. 9 times 8 is 72. 2. And then I got to keep my D. 72D, and then 9 times 5 is 45. That's going to be negative because that's a minus sign right there. Okay. Oh, sorry, I forgot the plus 13. Oh, I'm running out of room already. Let me see if I can move my thing over. Come here. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to go equals 12D minus 2. Now I got to get my D's all on one side. I do see some like items right here. So negative 45 plus 13, signs are different, so I subtract. Let's see, 45 minus 13 equals 32, and it's going to be negative 32 because 45 is the bigger number. 72D minus 32 equals 12D minus 2. Okay, now I got to get my D's all on one side. I'm going to subtract the 12D's because that way I'm still working with nice even whole numbers here. Bye-bye. So that leaves me with 60D minus 32 equals negative 2. Okay, before I can get rid of the 60 with the D, I have to get rid of the 32. So I do the opposite of what it is, which would leave me with 30, because 32 minus 2 is 30. Take the sign of the bigger number. Equals 60D. Alright, this is going good so far. So now I got to divide by 60. Divide by 60. Now, I need to reduce this. 30 over 60. 30 is half of 60. This is the same thing as just a half. So D equals 1/2. There we go. Good job, guys. Hopefully you followed along okay on that one. I'd like you guys to try number 6 on your own. Okay, remember the first thing we want to do is get J's all on one side. Let me go and erase all my work over here for this guy. Okay. Number 7. I do want you to try number 7 on your own. You're going to start off by distributing, and then get all of your P's on one side. Okay? All right, number 8 we can do together. We'll start off by distributing. I'm going to do my work over here. So I've got 3/4 T plus 1/8 equals, okay, so 3/4 times T is 3/4 T. And then 3/4 times 8. Remember, don't panic. This is the same thing as 3/4 times 8 over 1. 8 times 3 is 24. Come here. 4 times 1 is 4. 24 divided by 4 is 6. So 3/4 times 8 is 6. I'm going to go over here and put plus 6. Okay, now I got to get my my T's all on one side. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one I subtract. I'll subtract this one. Okay, these ones cancel out, and what do you know? Look, 3/4 T minus 3/4 T, 0. So now I have 1/8 equals 6. Uh-oh, guys, that doesn't look good to me. That's a no. Solutions. Okay, number 8 is no solution. I'm going to go ahead and erase my work. Remember, you can always pause the video and rewind if you need to. Okay, number 9, I want you guys to try on your own, okay? So the first thing I would do is distribute. Remember, taking a fraction and timesing it by a whole number is really not that bad. Or, sorry, I didn't mean to put that over 2. Over 1. 14 times 1 is 14. 7 times 1 is 7. That equals 2. Okay, so it's really not that bad. Just take your numerators and times your numerators, and your denominators times your denominators, and then distribute this guy as well, and then get all of your r's on one side and solve for r, okay? All right, I'm going to skip number 10 because I feel like if we can do number 11 together, then you guys can do number 10 on your own. So let's do number 11 together. 11 says, find the value of x and then find the measures of each of the angles. So let's go and get started. I know the whole thing equals 360, okay? So my equation is going to be 360 equals, And now I'm just going to start at the x over here and then just keep going around and around. I do not need to put in my parentheses, okay? So I'm going to say the bottom one was x plus, and I'm going to do this next one, x minus 3 plus x plus 8 plus x minus 5. Okay, I see a lot of like items, so I'm going to go and add up all my x's. I'm going to change my colors here. I've got an x plus an x plus an x plus an x. That's 4 x's. Okay, now I'm going to do all my numbers. I've got -3 and -5 make negative, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, -8. -8 plus 8 equals 0. So do I actually have to say plus 0? No, not really. I can just leave it as 4x. Okay, so now I have 4x equals 360. How do I get how do I get x all by itself? I got to get rid of the 4. It's being multiplied to the x, so I need to divide by 4 to get rid of it. 360 divided by 4 equals 90. Okay, so x equals 90. Now that's only part of our answer. Now we have to plug in 90 for each of these x's and go solve all of the angles, okay? So one of our angles is going to be 90 degrees because that's just x. Now this one is 90 minus 3. 90 minus 3, so it would be 90, this would be 89, 88, 87. Okay, the next one is 90 plus 8, which is 98. And then the last one is 90 minus 5, which is 85. So your answer has 2 parts. You gotta tell me what x equals, and then you have to go find me the degrees for each corner. Now, for number 10, you would do the same thing, except for they equal 180, okay? All right, let's go do 12 and 13. I'm going to erase this stuff. So I got some room to work with. Okay. I'm going to do number 13. You are going to do number 12 on your own. Now it says solve the equation for y. Okay, so we want y all by itself. But before I can get rid of the 0.4, I have to get rid of the minus 0.25x. What's the opposite of minus 0.25x? Yes, it's plus 0.25x. So we're going to do that to both sides. Now 0.25x plus 0.5, those are not like items. So I'm just going to rewrite it like this. 0.5 plus 0.25x equals 0.4y. Okay? Now I have to get rid of the 0.4 off of my y, so I'm going to divide by 0.4. And now I'm not going to make a giant Play-Doh ball. I'm just going to divide each of these by 0.4. Let's see here, we're doing 13. Okay, good. It says it wants us to do that too. So I'm going to divide this by 0.4, divide this by 0.4. Now, 0.5 divided by 0.4 is 1.25. I put it in my calculator, okay? So this guy right here equals 1.25. And now I'm going to put this in my calculator. 0.25 divided by 0.4. And that equals 0.625. And don't forget our x that we have to use, okay? And all of that equals y because now we got y all by itself. And that is our final answer. Remember, when we're solving for a literal equation, we're going to get a literal equation when we're done. Like, we're going to have y equals, and then it's going to be an equation, okay? So good job, you guys solved for y on that one. So I'd like you to solve for y on number 12 as well on your own. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and erase. Okay, solve the formula for the red variable, okay? Now, distance equals rate times time, number 15. I want you guys to try that one on your own because I feel like that's one that we've done in class. You guys can get r all by itself. Let's try number 14. Number 14, we want w all by itself. Now, we can't directly get rid of that 2 yet. We have to get rid of the 2l. 2l is being added to 2w, so we need to subtract 2l. So now we have p minus 2l equals 2w. I'm already running out of room. How do I get rid of the 2 next to my W? Well, I've got to divide it by 2. Here, I'm going to rewrite this somewhere where I actually have some space. I had P minus 2L equals 2W. We're dividing by 2. Dividing each of these by 2. Okay? Now, P divided by 2. There's nothing I can do there. Okay? So, P divided by 2, that's just how it's going to be. P over 2. Now, negative 2 divided by 2. A negative divided by a positive is still a negative. But don't these turn into a 1? So now I'm just left with a negative 1L. Negative 1L equals W. And that is how we solved for W. We got W all by itself. Let's do the same thing for 15, okay? All right, I'm going to erase these so I have some space to work with. Number 16. Your basketball team wins a game by 13 points. The opposing team scores 72 points. Explain how to find your team's score. Okay, so you guys know their team scored 72. You won by 13 more points. I'm going to let you guys solve number 16 because I feel like you guys can do that one. Number 17. You are biking at a speed of 18 miles per hour. Okay? You are 3 miles behind your friend who is biking a speed of 12 miles per hour. Write and solve an equation to find the amount of time it takes for you to catch up to your friend. Okay, so let's see here. I know that you are going 18 miles per hour. Now we don't know too much. We only know that you're 3 miles behind. So I'm going to say you go 18 miles per hour. X is, we don't know how many hours, right? But I'm going to subtract 3 because you're 3 miles behind. And your friend is going 12 miles per hour. Okay? Now, all I really want to do is just get 18x by itself. Okay? And to be able to do that, I need to get negative 3 away from it. So I add 3 to both sides. That makes that one go away. And then I'm left with 18x equals 12x plus 3. Now, guys, that's your first part of your answer, okay? Because it wants you to make an equation. Now, I want to know how long will it take before I can catch up to my friend. So now I can go solve for x, okay? So I'm going to rewrite this over here where I have some space. Okay, how do I get my x's together? I'm going to move my 12 onto this side. So to do that, I'm going to subtract 12x. Okay, so 18 minus 12 is 18, 17, 8, 7, 6, 6. X equals 3. Divide by 6, divide by 6. That is the same as a half. X equals 1/2. So what 1/2 means is it'll take you a half hour to catch up to your friend if you go 18 miles per hour. So 2 parts of that answer. I need the equation and I need how long it'll take you to catch up to your friend. Okay? Okay, number 18, volcanoes. Let me erase my work. Two scientists are measuring lava temperatures. One scientist records a temperature of 1,725 degrees Fahrenheit. The other scientist records a temperature of 950 degrees Celsius. Which temperature is greater? Okay, a lot of you guys really struggled on this on your quiz. I want to change these two things to be the same degrees. Fahrenheit or Celsius, it doesn't matter. But they gave me this formula. It's so easy, you guys, to plug in your Fahrenheit in your F for Fahrenheit and solve the equation to find the new C, okay? So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take 1,725 degrees. Sorry, guys. I want you to plug it in for F, and I want you to solve the formula for C. That'll be your new degree Celsius, and then you can compare the two and find out which one is the greater temperature. Okay? Try that one on your own. Number 19. Your profit for mowing lawns this week is $24. You are paid $8 per hour, and you paid $40 for gas for the lawnmower. How many hours did you work this week? All right. So here's what we need to do. You guys got $24, okay? This week. You are paid $8 per hour, okay? I'm putting an X, that's your hours. And then I'm subtracting $40 because we had to pay for gas. And we got $24. Now we need to solve for X. How do I get X all by itself? Well, I have to add 40 to both sides. That would get me 64 equals 8x. And then how do I get x all by itself? Well, now I divide by 8, divide by 8. 64 divided by 8. I ate and I ate and I got sick on the floor. 8 times 8 is 64. Okay? So that means I worked 8 hours that week to be able to make $24. All right, guys, I didn't leave too many just for you to do, but that is your homework. I need you to do 1 through 19. I need you to put your name on the top. I need you to write chapter 1 test, page 36. I need you to scan that picture of your paper, and I need you to turn it in on Google Classroom. Remember, you have to hit the add or create button and hit upload image, okay? Now, you guys should have this memorized. You email it to yourself, and then from there, you can hit the little button that adds it to your Google Drive. And then once it's in your Google Drive, then you can just click add from Google Drive. It's so easy. Some of you may have 2 pieces of paper to upload, which is fine because there's a lot of work that needs to be shown. Make sure you upload both pictures, okay? I don't want just the last page of your homework. I've got to see that you've done all 1 through 19. All right, guys. Hopefully I'll see you guys soon. Probably not Tuesday, so be prepared to have another lesson like this. All right, bye, guys.